Okay, so I get a lot of questions like how can I optimize Fortnite, increase FPS, get the highest frames per second. So I'm going to show you guys my tips on how I do this and how I'm able to take low-end hardware and make it look similar to like what's a mid to upper range performance. So first things first, I'm assuming that you're a PC gamer. As myself, you have Fortnite on your PC. So the first thing you want to do is right click on Epic Games launcher, right click on it, and then select the option that says run as administrator. I'm going to assume that you have Windows 10, but if you have another Windows 11, it should be similar. Run as administrator. You always want to run as administrator. You hit yes to this prompt, and there you go. So Epic Games is an official administrator rights on your computer. And then, of course, the next thing you want to do is go right into. Actually, I want to show you a quick trick. Go to Fortnite, click this little dots here, and then click options. And what you'll want to do is ensure that Battle Royale is checked marked and pre-downloaded Steam streamed assets is also check marked. These other ones that are over here, I have a high-end computer. For me, it's not a problem. But if you have a low-end computer, I recommend you only have this guy here check marked, the first option, as well as this pre-download streamed assets. And the rest of this should be not checked mark, and you just hit apply. So make sure you do that. Okay, let's go ahead and launch Fortnite, and then I'm a guy that believes firmly in stock settings. So, no special tweaks. Now, if you have a low-end computer and you really want to maximize, what you have to work with and get the highest FPS, then of course there's some tweaks and there's some people. I'm going to link a video for you guys on some special settings that's going to deal with your graphics card, your Windows settings, and some stuff that's going to help increase your FPS in Fortnite if you especially have a low-end computer. So when I say low-end, you have a CPU that's pretty old. In compared to the nowadays CPUs, also a GPU that's kind of old as well. That's what I could consider a low-end computer. But these low-end computers can definitely play Fortnite and get decent. Let me lower down the volume here so you guys can hear me. Let's bring it down here because right now we don't need to listen to the music. All right, cool. All right, so first things first, go to your little icon here and go to settings and this little settings cogwheel here, and then settings again. And now we're gonna do mostly everything here. Now window mode should be set to full screen. That's how you're gonna maximize your FPS. Resolution, if you have a low-end computer, it's highly recommend that you bring this. Normally a lot of us play from 1080p upwards, but if you want to have the most FPS, you have to decrease this. This is 1080p. Looking at the last number here, 1080p. That's high definition. All this is high definition, but this is going to help you increase your FPS. So you're going to go ahead and hit go down to 900p, but I recommend 720p for low end. Make sure VSync is off. You can cap your frame rate depending on your monitor, how many hertz your monitor has. Normally, if you have a 120 hertz monitor, meaning 120 frames per second, then you want to increase this by 1. Yeah, frame rate will be above that. Okay, so in my case, I have a 120 hertz monitor, and I'm gonna just leave it like that. You do it for yours. The next thing, you go ahead and hit apply, and you'll see some changes happen. Yeah, you want to keep changes. You're going to say yes to that. Very important. Never play with DirectX 12 and never play with DirectX 11. Go with performance mode. This is regardless if you have an AMD graphics card or a NVIDIA graphics card. So hit apply there. And then here's going to say for the game effects to take place, you have to restart. So we're going to go ahead and hit restart. And we're going to let Fortnite load us back in. All right, we're loading back in because now we're going to be on performance mode. A lot of us already knows this, but it goes without saying. It's good to mention that you definitely need to put it in performance mode. And then once we're in performance mode, we're going to go back into the video settings, and we're going to make sure we go with low, 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 everything low settings. That way we don't have to worry about rendering high mesh, high graphics, and you can get the most out of your low-end computer. And this goes for any type of computer. I have a high-end computer, but this video is for low-end computers and the settings that I recommend. So we're going to go right back into Fortnite. You can see the graphics look a little different, but they still look good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and hit settings again. Go to video here, or again, recap, full screen, 720p, the lowest that your monitor resolution will allow you. VSync off. I already explained the frame rate. You want to keep that as low as possible for the most part. If you're happy with playing at 144 frames per second, then go with that. Low graphical fidelity, that's the performance mode. This graphic settings here, brightness, color blind strength, all that stuff, just leave it by default. Resolution, you can decrease this a little bit to kind of get bigger FPS if you want, but I like 100% 3D resolution. Make sure native visualization geometry is set to off. This, don't set it to epic, set it to low, near. Bring this all, you see, this is all what we want, is low settings here. Off, near, low, and low. And that's pretty much it. You can show your FPS to prove, and then hit apply. And there you go. So I think that's pretty much it. That's how you're going to increase your FPS the most on a low-end computer. So just a recap: bring down the resolution as low as possible. Frame rate, kind of cap it at something that you're okay with. Make sure you're in performance mode. Make sure you have full screen window. Window mode is full screen. And make sure that all these are low settings. And that's pretty much it, guys. I think that's it for this video. I showed you my personal settings on how to get the highest FPS in the Fortnite game, assuming that you have a low-end computer. And that's pretty much it. I stick to the stock settings. Now, I did mention that if you want to even tweak more your computer because you have a low-end computer and you still need more help in other areas, because what I just showed you is what we call stock settings. We're messing with the stock settings, whatever the game comes with, whatever the graphics card comes with. Oh yeah, I forgot one thing. So I'm going to go ahead and close Fortnite. So I just showed you guys the settings there. And one thing that's very important, if you do Control Shift Escape, this brings up your task manager. Go to the performance tab and you can see what type of CPU you have, how much memory you have. But the most important thing is the driver. So we go to the driver here. You can see that the driver version or driver date, I'm moving my mouse around so you can see it, but here it says 12/6/2023. It's pretty recent. Today's January 4th, so I think this is the latest and greatest driver. I have an NVIDIA card. You may have AMD card. You may have an Intel card. Whatever graphics card you have, the policy is the same way, but I'm going to assume that you have a graphics card like, let's say for example, a GTX 1060, which it's a little bit on the older side, lower end. Well, actually, back then when it came out, it was a very good graphics card. But let's say you have this graphics card here, a GTX, looks something like this, a GTX 1060, which is a very good graphics card considering how much it costs and the games you can play with it nowadays, right? So let's say you have this graphics card and you looked at your task manager and you notice that you have not the latest and greatest driver date. You want the driver date to be as close to the current date as possible. So in this case, we're going to go with the example of a NVIDIA GTX 1060. So what I'm going to do is open up Google and go to NVIDIA. This is the same process you follow for anything that you have. So I'm showing you guys now how to ensure that you have the latest and greatest updated graphics card. So go to NVIDIA driver downloads here, the first link. This is the official NVIDIA website. So go to product series, and since we're talking about a GTX 1060, we're going to go to the GeForce 10 series section. And again, you model this off of the graphics card that you do have. Product, go with the product. I gave you the example of a GTX 1060. Operating system, I'm assuming you're going to be on Windows 10 for the most part. Leave the rest of this the same. Hit search. It brings you to this page. You hit download, and then there's another download button that appears. You hit download, and you can see that this is currently running in the back end. So you'll allow this to finish downloading, and then once it's downloaded, you go to your wherever you download it, maybe your downloads folder, and just double click the executable, hit next, 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 and you just update your graphics card. It's going to ask you probably to restart your computer, so you'll restart your computer, and when you come back into your computer and you bring up Task Manager again and go to the performance tab and then go to your graphics card, the driver date should be something very close to today's date. So that's how you go about updating your graphics card. Pretty straightforward. We're very close to finishing this right here. I'm going to show you how it looks, but basically it's pretty simple. You just run the executable. Let me try to think if there's anything else to help you get higher FPS in Fortnite or any other games as well. Again, you want to have the lowest resolution as possible with the lowest graphical settings for the game. That's how you're going to ensure that you get your computer is going to be able to perform and render the best video quality, get that high FPS that we all want. So you can see I finished downloading. So all you do is go to downloads, double click that. You say yes to this prompt. You go ahead and hit extract. You click OK here. I'm not going to do it because I don't want this to interfere with my graphics card because I already. But basically that's it, guys. You hit OK, and then the prompt comes out saying that you want to install this driver. You said next, 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 and you let it finish up, and that's it. And that's how you get the latest and greatest driver. I did remember just one more thing that I wanted to show you guys. Let me see if I can remember it. I think there was one thing important that I wanted to. I can't seem. If I do remember, I'll let you know in the video comments of this video. But I think that's pretty much it. Oh yes, 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 yes. So if you go to Google and you go to Noah's Gaming PCs, that's another YouTube channel that I have. You go to videos over here and you type now if let's okay, so after you've done everything that I said in this video up to this point, and you did also the other thing that I'm linking in the video here, where there's another YouTuber guy that goes through much better, does a little bit better job than me in showing you some Windows settings that you can optimize, because you have Windows OS that you need to optimize, and you have the graphics cards settings that you need to optimize. If you do everything that I've just showed you now, and this is what I consider the stock tweaks, if you do everything that in the other video that guy does, and you test Fortnite and you're still not happy with the FPS, then this is one more thing that you can potentially do. So if you go to videos here and you type DDU, so you may have maybe a new computer that or an old computer. Most of this is for old computers, but if you go to this how to use DDU display driver uninstaller,
their AI.
Of course, we got some ads here, but basically, if you follow along in this video, this is how you can increase your FPS on your gaming. So what happens over time as you update your graphics drivers and stuff like that, the computer gets bloated with unnecessary driver information. So this is a process. If you go through this video here, it's called display driver uninstaller. This will clean completely your entire system, and in this video I explain in great detail how to do this. So this can be considered a last alternative. This can be considered a last alternative for you if everything that I've said up to this point has not really helped you all that much and get higher FPS. You can definitely do this video here that I'm going to also link for you, and that's pretty much it, guys. If I do think of something else, I will let you know, but basically, oh yes, so Windows updates. Before you do anything, if you have a new computer or whatever, some of us forget something very essential. So if you go to over here, type the Windows bar over here, or you type over here, type check for updates. So here you see it, check for updates. This is very important too. You'll go to check for updates, Windows updates. This is how you go about doing Windows updates. You definitely want to have your Windows updated the most as possible. There's a little button here. You see I'm up to date right now, but if you click check for updates, the Windows is going to search for any outdated updates that you don't have, and it's going to list it here. And if it's listed here, then you make sure that you install that. You make sure you give it permission to go ahead and update anything that's missing. But you can see mine's up to date. So as a recap, make sure you do Windows Update. Make sure you go through the process of going to your appropriate graphics card driver website, download the latest graphics, install it on your computer. Make sure you go for the beginning of this video where I showed you guys how the Fortnite settings, low settings, everything low settings, low resolution, and last but not least, the other video that I'm going to provide as a link. This is what I consider the hardcore. Let me see if I can find it for you right now. Give me a second. I was watching it on my phone. This guy did a really good job. Let me see if I can Google it. Yeah, here we are. So it's somebody by the name of. So you want to also do this DDU option. I know this is a lot of information, but go step by step. First, do what I said at the beginning with tweaking the Fortnite settings. Then make sure you do the Windows updates, which I just showed you guys how to do the Windows updates. Make sure you go to the website for NVIDIA or whatever graphics card you have. Look for your graphics cards, download the driver, install it. And then what else? I think and last but not least, if none of that, test Fortnite. If that doesn't help increase your FPS, then do this method here that I just talked about. The display driver, or the DDU method. I like to call it the DDU method, display driver uninstaller. Do that method. I'm going to provide a link here. And if test it again, if you're still not happy, then the last alternative, the last thing that can save your system would would be what this guy in this video did. So let me see. This guy is called Not Cods How to Get 1000. I don't believe that FPS in Fortnite chapter 5, but he does go over some very important settings. So this is the actual video. This is the last alternative. This is the video that you'll want to look at here, and this will increase your FPS and decrease your delay. So this guy, we can kind of skim through it, but this guy shows you some settings that you can optimize in your Windows settings. So I'm not going to go through it because this video is long enough as it is, but I will link this video. But you can see this guy is showing you things to turn off, notifications to turn off, power and sleep, storage things to turn off. This is really going far and beyond. And if you do this stuff, it should give you the highest possible FPS in addition to the stuff that I mentioned to you at the beginning of this video. So this guy does a really good job. Explains that you got to get rid of programs that you don't need. Xbox game bar, make sure that's turned off. So again, I'm not going to bore you with this. Oh, there's something called graphic settings here, and you can include it for Fortnite here. You got to find your Fortnite. So again, this guy goes into very big detail. It's only a 5-minute video. He does speak fast, but if and then this is the part where he shows you stuff to do in your NVIDIA graphics driver control panel. NVIDIA. I'm assuming that you guys have NVIDIA. But also there's AMD stuff. So these are some special settings that you can tweak even further if you have NVIDIA. Again, I know this is a long video, a lot of good information here. But first thing you want to do is do what I showed you at the beginning of the video. Let me just do it. So yeah, I'm going to link this video for you guys here. But that's pretty much it, guys. Do what I said, right? Right-click on Epic Games, choose Run as Administrator. Do the what I showed you at the beginning of the video. Go into Fortnite, set everything to low setting, performance mode. Once you've done that, make sure you go to your appropriate website for your graphics card. Download the latest driver. Make sure you do Windows Update. And then test Fortnite. And then if none of that works, it's definitely going to work. I promise that it's definitely going to work. But if as a last alternative, what you could do is do what this guy explains in his video, tweaking Windows settings, optimizing that, tweaking the graphics settings, optimizing that as well, and test Fortnite. And you're still not happy, the last thing you can do would be this DDU method, display driver uninstaller, and that's going to completely clean out your computer from bad graphics drivers, and then you can install a fresh updated version of it. Again, those are your friends. everything that I've showed you. And let me know if you guys have any questions. Hopefully you found this video useful. And that's it for this, guys. Thank you for your attention. And again, Fortnite is a wonderful game, but you know, to get the high FPS, you sometimes have to put a lot of work into it and effort, especially if you have low-end hardware. That's it, guys. Thank you so much, and we are almost a 20-minute video. Let me know if this is helpful. Make sure you do all the parts that I told you. Be patient. Do some of the parts, then test Fortnite. If you're happy with the increase of FPS, great. If you're not, then go to the next part, and just little by little, all this stuff will help you. Okay? Thanks so much, and goodbye.